Hello and welcome to today's episode. I'm your host Dhruvi and you are listening to Social Republic, where today we will explore story, issues and conversations that matter in our society. We are diving into a deeply troubling event that has sparked outrage across the country. This week, the Ahmedabad traffic police put up a series of public posters that read, quote, "Attending late night parties could invite rape or gang rape," unquote. Yes, you heard that right. A government-backed message posted in public places suggesting that simply attending a late night gathering, something millions of people do routinely, is somehow an invitation to sexual violence. We live in a country where women already carry the invisible burden of navigating public spaces with caution. From constantly being told what to wear, how to behave, where to go, and when to return home, these so-called precautions are a reflection of the deeply rooted gender bias. But when this blame the victim narrative is amplified, not by fringe groups but by law enforcement itself, it crosses a line that we cannot afford to ignore. Let's be completely clear here. Rape is never the victim's fault, whether a person is walking home at night, attending a party, or simply existing in public. No act of violence against them can ever be justified, and yet these posters send exactly the opposite message. Instead of focusing on deterrence, justice, and safety, they subtly but unmistakably imply that victims bear responsibility for the crimes committed against them. This is not just an example of poor judgment, it is a grave social issue. It reflects on how institutions often fail to understand the impact of their messaging, especially when it comes to crimes like sexual assault. Think about the implications. When survivors of sexual violence see such posters, how likely are they to come forward? How confident can they feel that they will be taken seriously and treated with respect? What's even more concerning is that this isn't an isolated case. Time and time again, we have seen public authorities make similar missteps, be it tone-deaf advisories to women, skewed school guidelines, or safety campaigns that shame rather than support. This builds an environment where the burden of preventing rape is placed on potential victims instead of changing the behavior of potential perpetrators. Activists, gender rights advocates, and concerned citizens have rightly pushed back. Social media has been flooded with criticism, and protests have already begun. Many are demanding a formal apology from the Ahmedabad traffic police and a complete removal of the posters. But more importantly, they are calling for a shift in approach, one that is survivor-centric, grounded in accountability, and focused on cultural change. This controversy should also serve as a wake-up call to other public agencies. Awareness campaigns must be rooted in dignity, empathy, and responsibility, not fear or shame. If the goal is to make streets safer, then we must invest in education and better policy, in fast and fair legal processes. We must also invest in changing the cultural narratives that continue to silence and blame victims. To wrap this social issue up, I want to say holding someone accountable for the crime committed against them is not just wrong, but it's dangerous. It discourages reporting, protects perpetrators, and breaks their confidence. It even perpetuates a cycle of violence and silence. Our institutions should be empowering survivors, not isolating them. And if we can't trust the very people tasked with our safety to get the messaging right, we have to demand better. That's all for today's episode of Social Republic. Thank you for listening. If you found this important or enraging or even eye-opening, share the podcast and continue the conversation. And don't forget to subscribe to Social Republic. Until then, stay safe, stay aware, and most importantly, never stop questioning.